Hi, I am Kedarnath GM, an enthusiastic traveler and explorer. Never in my weirdest of dreams I thought that I would be riding around the world on my motorbike. It all began in 2011 when I bought my Royal Enfield Thunderbird. This machine is part of the reason why I am doing this today. In 2012, I set out on a solo expedition to Leh from Hampi and back. The stories and people from the road inspired me to ride from India to Iran, Turkey, Europe. This was in 2013-14 winter. 13 countries, 18,000 kilometers and 6 months on the road. Something happened to me on the road to Europe from India. I don't know what it is yet. I am set out to discover that. When I am back to India, I had always felt that I had something unfinished. It took me 3 long years to get back to what I had started, and now I am set to ride across the rest of the world for 4 long years. This dream is now becoming a reality. You, the people of this world, are the very inspiration for my dream, and I cannot think of completing this task without your help and support. I hope to meet as many of us as I can and take your stories to the world. Take your kindness, your love and affection. I envision a borderless world, the borders which we created long back in our mind, the barriers that we built for each other in our hearts. We have been given a beautiful world full of opportunities of freedom, opportunities of wealth, opportunities of love and peace. It is the responsibility of each and every one of us to leave behind this world as pristine as possible to the generation follow us.
Okay, so let's start with this was my first expedition from India. I'll also go through why I did it and how this happened and everything. So that's where I live, down south in India. It's called it's a place called Hampi. Hampi is a historical place with 3,000 years of history and everything. It's like if you've been to Cambodia, it's something like Siem Reap. Yeah. So I was born in that historical place, born and brought up there, and then I graduated to be a mechanical engineer with an MBA. Well, life was all good. I was selected when I was in the 8th semester by one of the big companies, corporates. I was working for them in the steel company, in a big steel company. It's one of the two fortune steel companies in India. Life was good. If I still continued there, I would be a general manager or a VP by the time I retire. But then one fine day, there was a big project. I finished a big project and I said, okay, I'm fed up of this. I need a break. I said, okay, take a break. Then I said, okay, I didn't know where to go or what to do. I just took my motorcycle. That was my first motorcycle. You know, many people ask me this question, like, have you been biking alone? I started motorcycling only when I was like 29 years old. And I started with a Royal Enfield. And so I went across whole of India and then came back home. I was sitting at my study desk and I was so impressed by the whole idea of going around your own country and meeting this very humble and simple people. You know, there was this one simple question for which I tried to find an answer. How simple is life, or how complicated is life? So when I came back home and I was looking at everything, and I saw like 5 pairs of shoes. I had 1 pair for the basketball, 1 pair for the jogging, 1 pair to squash or badminton, and 1 for my office shoes, and 1 for casual. So that like 5 or 6 pairs. Do I need all these 6 pairs of shoes? That's the first question. I don't need them, but my corporate lifestyle forces me to buy all the 6 pairs, because if I don't have them, I'm not allowed in the club. Back in the villages of India, people had no footwear to wear, but yet they were all happy. They were playing basketball like me, you know. That's okay. They play football, they play basketball, they play every game what I play. Okay, except for squash, you need like big investment for that. Apart from that, they played every game without shoes or whatever they can, you know. They were still happy. So that was the question, like, you know, how complicated can we make our own lives, or how simple can we make our own lives? So, yeah. So that was the starting point. And I said, okay, if this is the lesson I could learn from India, maybe I'm being so stereotypical because it's just my country and it's just my people around, and that's what I feel about. Why not go outside India, say like take this most sophisticated country like Europe. Okay, why not go from here to Europe on my motorbike and see how life is there? I've never been to Europe all my life, till So I thought, okay, that will be interesting. Let me go to Europe and find out how life is there, how simple or complicated life is, or how people are there. Then I sat on my desk and looked at, and the shortest way was through Pakistan, Iran, Turkey, and then to Europe and everywhere. So the first neighboring country, very friendly country, Pakistan. So I went to the embassy to apply for my visa. I said, okay, there you go. This is my application for the visa. And the ambassador of, the Pakistan ambassador, he was there at the consulate on that day, and I was asked to wait in a separate room. They were clearing all the applications and everything. They were asked, and then I didn't know why I was asked to be in a separate room for a long time, almost 3 hours. And then the ambassador comes down, and then I was put in a small room with him. And he asked me in Urdu, which is like because he's from Hanji Janab, kya chahiye? Means, please tell me what can I do for you? I said, I just need a visa. Why do you want to go to Pakistan? I had my map and everything. I showed him everything, and then, okay. But why do you want to go through Pakistan? I said, sir, this is the most favorable and shortest route for me to get to Europe. Otherwise, it's going to be so difficult going through, Tibet and Afghanistan and Turkmenistan and everywhere. This is the shortest possible route and the easiest way to get into Europe after Iran. So he was convinced that I wanted to go through Pakistan with my motorbike. And then after all these things, he said, okay, write me an application addressing to the High Command of Islamabad. I will do my best. What can I do? And I will inform you in a week's time. I didn't get any response. Like, he gave his number and everything. Whenever I call him, he will say, your application is right in front of my eyes, and I have not heard any response or any answer from the Islamabad High Command. I was getting frustrated. I thought, okay, during all my life, I just wanted this one simple thing to happen, and this is not happening. There were two choices in front of me. Either shut all these things and then go back to my usual corporate job, work 9 to 5, wear the shoes, go to basketball, wear the shoes, go to the squash, wear the shoes, this is the lifestyle I should follow. There are two things. And then I said, okay, no, I'm not going to do that, because the lesson what I learned in India is not that simple. It came to me through in a hard way, by traveling 8,300 kilometers in India itself in 30 or 39 days. So it's not a simple thing. It's a very difficult thing which came to me, and I should not waste it. So I sat before the map once again and thought, how about going to Iran? It's the next neighboring country. So I went to the Iranian consulate and asked them, can you give me a visa? I want to go through your country with a motorbike. I said, yeah. How simple is that? And then I said, I asked him once again, because I couldn't believe myself. I asked him once again, can I go through your country with my motorbike? Actually going through the border with the motorbike. Yes. Okay, I was very happy. Now the trouble, or the big problem, is how to take the motorbike to Iran. This Pakistan is not giving me visa. I have to start my journey from Iran. So I thought, okay, let me ship the motorbike to Iran, or fly the motorbike to Iran. So I did a lot of homework, a lot of going to the aviation companies and speaking to them, and a lot of exercise. And finally, one aviation company, which is the Iran Air itself, accepted to fly my bike from Mumbai to Tehran. It was a bit expensive, 4 times than the ticket cost of me. But still, money can come and go, but your experiences and the learnings, it can't wait for you. So I flew my motorbike from Mumbai to Tehran in September 2013. That was the beginning of the journey. I was so excited that finally I'm going to explore all these countries and find out what it is for me. It was not so easy in Iran. Nobody spoke a single word of English. Even the biggest person in the customs, he spoke only 3 words of English. Yes. 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 I was in front of him telling, "Sir, my motorbike is with you, it's in the customs. I want to take it outside." Yes. And finally, after a lot of explaining to him and showing my pictures and everything, and he wrote something in a piece of paper. He tore a piece of paper and wrote in Persian and gave it to me. And I took it outside, showing this piece of paper written in Persian to everyone. Okay, somebody understand this? Please take this. This officer gave this to me. And they took that piece of paper, and this girl sees this piece of paper and she gets furious and she says, "Inja, no, Inja, no, Inja, no." Then after 2 weeks I understood what's the meaning of Inja. Inja means here in Persian. Inja no means not here. So that document was not supposed to be processed there. It was supposed to be processed 40 kilometers inside the city, somewhere else. Okay, a lot of hardships. I took my bike outside after 3 weeks in Tehran, going through all the different offices. And in this process, they taught me Persian. They taught me Persian poem. Yeah, very good people, very hospitable people. I was never hungry in Iran and Turkey and anywhere in these parts of the world. So, but the only question people had, why is this guy on this motorbike trying to cross the borders? I reached the border of Turkey, Iran and Turkey. That's like the Taftan. And as soon as I was at the gates, like the big metal gates, and the customs officer, the first at the border, at the international borders, okay, when you go into a country through flight, you face the immigration office, immigration police, the customs officers and everything. But at the border, you first face the border control force or the army. In some countries it's the army, some countries it's the BSF, border security force. So that they take nobody's shape. They only report to the commander-in-chief. So if they say no, no. Only when you clear the border security force, the military, and then comes the immigration, then comes the customs, then comes all these people. So to cross that border, it almost took me 5 hours from Iran to Turkey. And after clearing all this, when I came to the customs, the first question the customs officer asked me is, "Do you have any weapon with you?" I said, "No." "Do you have gun?" I said, "No." And then the next question he asked me, do you carry any drugs with you?" I said, "No." And then he was more specific. "Cocaine, afim, hashish?" I said, "No." After all this, no, okay. Now we're going to scan everything. They scanned my luggage, they scanned me, and then they were totally satisfied. And now they were looking at the bike, and they were speaking among, "Yeah, let's scan the bike also." They took the bike, and there's a big scanning machine. They put the bike in the scanning machine. That was funny. But it was a good experience. And then I rode all my way to Turkey. People taught me Turkish. But everywhere in the border, when I'm crossing the border, this is the learning. Which on the other side of the border, people are very curious. In Turkey, when I crossed the border successfully and came into Turkey, they said, "Oh, where are you coming from?" "Iran." "How are the people in Iran? We hear that they are very bad people there." And then now I should be politically correct, you know. I said, no, it was all good. And now, okay, you go to Bulgaria, the people again ask you, how is Turkey? We heard bad things in Turkey. They steal your stuff and everything.
People are afraid of each other. People are afraid of everyone. People are afraid of the other country. And me on my motorbike, when I'm crossing borders, I can see this fear in people. And I want to take out this fear.
During all my expedition, all my stuff was on my motorbike. Indeed, people were afraid of me, and they were, you know, because like, you know, I had my beard and my jacket and everything. They thought like, you know, I'm like a savage, or, you know, I'm like an outlaw or something. They were indeed afraid of me. They didn't cause me any problem, or nobody stole any stuff from me, not even a single thing. I had my camera on the tank bag. Had my water bottles, everything. Not even a single thing got stolen. Nobody even touched my stuff. I camped everywhere in these places. Nobody caused me a problem. Indeed, like when I'm alone, people approached me and, you know, gave me food, water. Some people, not shelter, because in Turkey, there's a very interesting story in Turkey. I was in this a Kurdish village during that time. Even now, there is this Kurdish and Turkish revolution is taking place. I was in a Kurdish village. It was a small village. I was cold, and I went up to the biggest house, because in the villages, the biggest house is the village chief or whoever it is. I went there, stopped my bike. I was explaining him like, can I put my tent here? And like some 10 women come out of the house, and some 20 children are there. So I thought, okay, I think the whole village is just this one house. And then the head of the house comes running from down the slope. He's like, you know, losing his breath, because somebody already told him like a stranger has come to your home with his motorbike and he's speaking to your woman. He's running, losing his breath, and he's running up the hill. And then once he's there, yes, mister, what you want? I don't want nothing. I just want to camp. I want to put my tent here. Okay. Okay. Then he starts in Kurdish, you know, talking to all these people. And they bring a mattress, put a mattress, and then they bring ayran. Ayran is your buttermilk, sour buttermilk. And then they bring bread, and they bring dates and everything. There's a small feast. And I said, okay, eat. I was eating slowly. He asked me, where are you from? I said, from India. He doesn't understand. Where are you from? I'm India. Okay, then I take my passport and show him. Hindustan. You need to say Hindustan. Hindustan, yeah, Hindustan, okay. Then I eat a little bit, and then I say, okay, you camping my home, no problem. But police problem. I didn't understand him. So can I camp here or not? You camping here, my home, no problem. But police problem. I didn't understand him yet. Like, hey, okay, police has a problem if I camp in your home, so why I will camp outside? He said no. Then he explained to me like Kurdish and Turkish, but I didn't understand anything. Because I was never watching the news. I didn't know what's the problem in Turkey. Then he took me to a place 10 kilometers away from the village, showed me a place, said, okay, this is the place, you can camp. I camped there. Look at the hospitality of this guy. In the morning, he brings me breakfast. I eat my breakfast, and then I make my way to up north, and Bulgaria, now entering into Europe. I was so excited. Okay, it's going to be very different. But no, we get into Bulgaria, the same question. We heard the people in Turkey are very bad. They steal all your stuff. So when you go to Romania, the other story. A lot of gypsies there. Be careful, man. everywhere. And then I go to Germany, they say Germans are too rude, okay, be careful, they don't talk to you properly. And then I come to the French, and then they ask, what do you feel about the German and French? Who is good? The Germans are so rude, right? The French are better. So everyone has a perception about a country, and maybe this perception is created by someone, but we don't try to change it. Nobody has tried to change the perception, and it is just there. And still India is known, when I was traveling there, still India is known as a country of snake charmers and stuff like that. Still they still think that Gandhi is alive. Yeah, some places an old man came to me, and then they was asking, how is Gandhi? Is he doing well? So in all this quest, have I found the answer? That was the question, right? Is it gonna be different? But no. In France, Europe was like so worse. Like at least in India, I could see people smiling and playing in the street and everything. In France, like people were like waiting for this. There's this market, and there were people who were waiting for the market to finish, and there were all these good-looking people trying to go and pick up, things from the street, and the rents and the amount of money they spent on accommodation was so huge, and people were not happy. The same thing, you need to wear 5 pairs of shoes if you need to be in the corporate, even in France. More than 5, I guess. So now the question is it like we are complicating our lives by ourselves, or do we have a choice? And if we have a choice, and if we choose this, can we make it more simple? And this was the question which motivated me to pick up the bike and then keep continuing and move to the different parts of the world. I said, okay, maybe Europe is so stereotypical, and all these countries are so stereotypical. Let me go find these answers when I'm going around the world. Let me go around the world. Why not just stop? Why just stop with Europe? I was sitting at my desk once again, looking at the 5 pairs of shoes. Yeah, back in the corporate job again. But this time it was very intense, because India, Iran, Turkey, and then some Europe. This time it was intense. I couldn't even wear the shoes to go to play basketball, Yeah, so this time the questions were different. Now I decided, okay, I want to make my life simple. Okay, I don't bother about other people. I want to make my life simple. I want to quit all this corporate job, throw away all these shoes and everything, get on my motorbike and go around the world. Go see the world. Be free. Be free from all these prejudices, and because I never want to buy these 5 pairs of shoes. Somebody forced me to buy. Can I be free of not buying what people ask me to buy? Can I be free of doing things what I feel like doing? Can I be free of wearing what I want to wear? Can I do that? Can I actually do that? Okay. If I want to do that, I first have to resign this corporate job, because with this corporate job, I can't even go to office without this set of a standard attire. I can't even go to office. Okay. Then I fixed up the date, working on the dates and everything. Okay, one fine day. Okay, I put up the paper. People say, don't go. Come back. I say, okay. I must say it was a great experience, learning and everything. Yeah, but I need to find out some answers. Let me go. So I started out from India again, and this time from the Southeast Asia, because I already been to that part. So I started from towards the east. I thought Southeast Asia would be easy to go, get in and go out, but oh my God, it was so complicated. It's not so easy. So I had my visa and everything, and I get into Thailand. I was riding in Thailand, and it was time to get into Cambodia. So I get into Cambodia with my motorbike, and then there is this nobody. There is this nobody. He's not even wearing a uniform. He stops me and asks me, okay, you need to come to this place to make a document for your motorbike and to pay the taxes and everything. I said, I'm a tourist, why should I pay taxes? He said, yes, you need to do that. Okay. Then I said, okay, I will follow you. He said, no, leave motorbike here. You first come, make paper, pay the money, and then you go. I said, no, I'm not leaving my motorbike, I'm going to follow you. Then he sat on the motorbike, I sat on my motorbike, and he went ahead of me. I was following him. And the moment he took a left turn to go somewhere, I just rode straight, and I didn't stop like for another 100 kilometers. My next stop was in Siem Reap. Yeah, this was in the, this is a very small map. This was the border between Thailand and Cambodia. It's like Aranyaprat on the Thailand side and Poi Phet on Cambodia side. Yeah, all the border crossings, they are very notorious people trying to take away your money in Southeast Asia. Yeah, once they know that you're not from here, they want to rob you. The same thing happened in Vietnam. They said, they looked at my bike and everything. There were like 10 customs people checking my bike and everything. And I said, okay, all okay, you can go. And then this one lady comes up and says, no, bike not Vietnam, not go. What? Your bike no Vietnam, not go. How can it be Vietnam? I'm coming from India. Then they told me you have two choices. Go back to Cambodia or leave your motorbike here and you go to Vietnam. I said, no, I cannot. This is my transportation, you know. I cannot go back, or you know, I cannot go without the motorbike. I have to see all the luggage and everything. I have to go with the motorbike. They said, no, two choices, choose. Then I had to think, and I said, okay, it's good to be in Vietnam and, you know, pull some strings and get the motorbike inside than to go back to Cambodia. Because back Cambodia again, you know, the same story there. Once you cross the border, they say, okay, you're gone from there. So I said, okay, leave the motorbike here. I go to Vietnam. They put all my stuff in a bus. I didn't sleep for a week in Vietnam because no motorbike. I couldn't move anywhere, just in a hostel, trying to think and everything. Yeah, finally, I went on the after a week and then 10 days, I went back. There's nobody around. I just took my motorbike and came in. Yeah, I just rode it. And then I tried crossing all the borders and here and there, and I wanted to come to Australia. But again, I can't fly or ship it, it's so expensive. So I flew into Sydney from Malaysia. And then, yeah, I have to start. I'm in Sydney now. Got the motorbike from Melbourne, rode from Melbourne to Sydney last week. Yeah, we'll go around Australia and then New Zealand, and yeah, lots left still. I'm still in the beginning of my. I spent like almost a year doing this small journey. I don't know how much this will take. Yeah, it could be another 5 years, maybe. Yeah, maybe more or less. So, you know, the more you travel, the more you go around, the more you meet people, you know, your ideas and your perceptions and your goals and your mission and vision, it changes. So all my life, I was asking this question, what is my mission and what is my vision? Always came to me was the mission and vision of my company, because they made us by-hearted. What's the mission? To produce so much tons of steel, which is like, you know, so good in quality and blah 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 blah. What is your vision? To be the one of the best steel manufacturing in the world, and you know, blah 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 and everything. And it occurred to me one day, like, you know, okay, so why I'm here, like what is my mission? What is my vision? That's someone else's vision, someone else's vision or mission. What is my vision? And then it occurred to me, like, okay, I'm having this so much of hurdles crossing borders and getting into countries. Why can't we see a borderless world? Is it possible? Maybe it's a very stupid idea. It's just an idea. And I have like, okay, let me put this on my agenda. Let me travel or ride for a borderless world. Can you imagine like 1,000, 3,000 years before there were no borders on this earth? Everybody could move free. Wherever people wanted to go, they can go. Just put everything on a camel or put everything on a donkey and then go and work somewhere. Find a piece of land. Make your own, cultivate your own vegetables and stuff and make a living. It's not possible anymore. It's not possible anymore. So civilization means like, are we restricting ourselves? The more and more we are civilized, are we restricting ourselves more and more? Are we becoming more and more narrow-minded? Is it what the idea of civilization is? Because we are in a civilized world, that's a nomadic world where people used to go from place to place and place to place. I never understood the difference. I never understood the idea of being civilized and being restricted and being narrowed, So back in those days, even if you remember, the Silk Route, which is the Iran, Afghanistan, and then the famous Silk Route, it all started with the trade and business, and people got greedy and started making these borders and started making these checkpoints, started pay people at the borders, and at the end of the day, some point of time, at the end of the day, I figured out that it's all about wealth, it's all about money, right? If I'm working for a corporate, it's about money. If I'm working for someone else, if I'm doing this or that, it's all for money. At the end of the day, it's money. You need to feed yourself, feed your kids, and feed your family, feed your, whoever you want to feed. So the time when I was quitting my job, this is the question I put to myself. Okay, I'm quitting my job. I'm losing my opportunity to get the paycheck every month in my bank account. So this is the decision I'm making. Is it a wise decision? If I sign this piece of paper, the piece of check which gets into my bank account every month is stop. It will stop. How good it is or how bad it is. Should I sign it or not? Then the question came to me, okay, how much money do I need in my life? How much wealth do I need in my lifetime? 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. Do I have an answer? No, I don't have an answer. When I don't have an answer, okay, sign it. If I have an answer, okay, I need this much money to survive my lifetime, then I will keep working. Get that paycheck every month, but I don't know. You can live with $10, you can live with $10,000. So I signed the paper. So back in those days, there were very few people in every nation who fought for the freedom. In India, it was Gandhi. In South Africa, it was Nelson Mandela. Different people, and even in the Red Indians fought for their freedom. Everybody fought for their freedom and finally got their freedom. And today we say we live in a free world. Back home, they say, okay, we are a free nation. Any country I go, they say, yeah, we are a free nation, free country. But I don't think so. We're really free. Do you think we're really free? It's just a notion. Freedom is just a notion given to us, and it's been used very politically this day, the word freedom. Nobody's free. I'm not free. I'm not free. I quit my job and I quit everything. I name myself as no countryman, but I'm still not free. I can't step out and step in whenever I want. I can't cross, I can't get in to any country. Yeah, okay, if I'm, say for example, if I'm a good swimmer, for example, if I'm a good swimmer, very good swimmer, I start swimming from Australia to New Zealand. Tomorrow I start swimming to New Zealand, and finally I reach New Zealand. Would I be accepted? Would I be accepted in New Zealand? No. Instead they put me in jail. You know, Maurice Green, maybe Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt is the fastest, he's the fastest man on earth. Usain Bolt, Maurice Green, all these are like, athletes who run, very fast. And so all these athletes, be it black or white or any nationality, when they reach the finishing line, everybody stands up and cheers them. Yeah? And they give them a medal. Why not in this case? Why not in this case? When somebody is coming on a boat for a week, drinking 1 glass of water every day, eating 1 slice of bread every day, and finally they make it to the shore, and then instead of praise and applause and medals, you get punished. This was a very intriguing question for me, because I'm not free, and my vision someday is to give a talk in the United Nations organization about the same topic. That any human being in this world should have the freedom of movement. Anyone. I didn't choose this name. I didn't choose my nationality. I didn't choose this body or the skin color. I didn't choose any of this. Then how can you decide things based on things which I have not chosen for myself? Just because I am from this particular country or this particular color or this particular community, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't go here, I can't go there. So freedom is just a notion in this 21st century. Nobody is free. Believe me, friends, I've done my engineering back in India, done an MBA. Also, I have 11 years of experience in the steel industry, and my peers and subordinates have taught me a lot of good things. Learned a lot, many tools and stuff. But the learning which the lessons and the learning which I picked up while traveling, it's not given by anyone, and it's very precious, and it doesn't come from your school or college or your it doesn't come from anywhere. It can only come from traveling. It will only broaden your perspectives to things. It depends on what kind of traveling you're doing. You should be if you are like a modern traveler, just like looking for fun, then no. But the best lessons I have learned is from traveling. Today I'm here speaking in front of you is because of traveling. I have written 2 books. That's because of traveling. I never imagined in my lifetime I would write books, because I hardly wrote my papers in exams. For 100 marks I'll always write 80, because I was so lazy to write. But traveling made me write 2 books. I said, oh, wow, that's really good. I should keep traveling then. So back in those days, you take any culture, Greek culture, Indian culture, the Roman culture, you take any culture, what they did was all these philosophers, whoever was the guru or whatever, the disciples were set to travel for a while after the teachings. Even in the Greek, if you study the Greek history and the Roman history, after a while, after they have been taught like some lessons of politics and demographics and that and this, they set them to travel their own country or to the provinces, to other provinces and everywhere. That whole link is missing today. I thought it's only missing in India, but it's missing in every culture. We become so busy in our own cycle of whatever it is, buying pairs of shoes. Travel now is a business. There are many travel industries and booking agents, and it's a business. Nobody thinks it as a learning tool now. But if you look at our history, that's been the major part of learning, and that's a very big missing link. So I just want to say one line before I end my talk. This is from Sydney. This I was traveling in and around Sydney, and I met this guy, a small marketplace. He was with his children. The children were pestering him to buy some things and stuff, and he says to them, "You should be thankful to God that you are born in a country like Australia." I was at the corner, listening to the whole scene. And he continued explaining to the children, back home, I don't know where he's from, or back home people don't have food to eat. It really put one question. Is that like being born itself is a sin, You don't have any control on it. You don't have any control where you're born. But when he said those words to the kids, it really, struck me a lot. And are we not responsible for that situation? Where directly or indirectly, every one of us is responsible for that situation, whatever that person says back home. Because somebody is having more, that means somebody has not to eat. If somebody has less to eat, that means somebody is eating more. We are all a family. Earth is a big home, and we are a family, and someone eats more, someone has to eat less. That's all. Thank you very much for coming. Yeah.